There was the need to tell big stories in architectural spaces, and there was a need to do it quickly and passionately, and so cFire was formed to address those client needs.
MGM Cotai has this giant atrium that's the center of their hotel and casino in Cotai, which is in Macau.
Our client wanted a watercolor story, and they had a couple references that were, kind of the stereotypical watercolor of a classic landscape, and we had no official workflow process set in motion for this. So we had to reinvent the whole process, and we had to make it happen fast.
The biggest challenge was finding an artist, and we struggled. We couldn't find a painter that we liked or that was qualified. And we share a studio space with Zheng Chongbin, who's a really great ink painter, but he'd never painted in color.
I went to the Zhejiang Academy of Fine Arts. Nowadays it's called the China Academy of Fine Art. This is considered the best school in the classic Chinese art, particularly in the Chinese paintings and ink paintings. The setting is actually very unique to the content. I thought it should be limited to certain very much iconic colors, and which is Chinese will be immediately recognize it. Especially in Macau, like this kind of environment. I told Nick we should get Chinese painting colors.
He had me go to Chinatown here in San Francisco to buy paint, and it was one of those just magical, strange experiences where I'm on a sort of wild goose chase in Chinatown to find this paint. They were very, very rich colors. We prepared canvases for Chongbin because typically he paints on the floor. He doesn't paint up on a canvas, which was really interesting to watch. And the minute he put down the first brushstroke, we knew he was the one to do the job.
I mean, location to me helped to decide what actual image you want to use. And also because the project will be launched in Chinese New Year. So that's very specific in terms of time and also cultural references.
We realized we didn't want to do some stereotypical commercial experience, and we wanted the watercolor story to be an ink brush painting that comes to life in 3 dimensions around the guest. We had to figure out how this experience played out for 10 minutes on 25 screens. I mean, the scale of this thing was so big, we really had to invent a new process and invent a new way to look at things.
We discovered early that so much of the content we had seen before was disappearing because it didn't have a strong color presence. So we just did a quick comp just using like a deep red, and I showed it to Peter, and we were just like, wow, that's it. Now you see all 25 screens at once.
We broke it into 3 acts, and each act was loosely oriented around a bold color and a set of recognizable icons that were relevant and powerful to both China and Macau. There was an entire technical challenge of serving content and the desire to create the optimal experience built for that particular technical system.
One of the best things about working with MGM Cotai is their team understands very well how difficult it is to output this type of content. So it's a very collaborative approach.
Building up great relationships with people from the top of the organization to the people who are working there every day just created the opportunity to really deliver something of quality that MGM was looking for.
The first moment you really see those screens, it's an awestruck moment. I remember walking under all those screens and looking up and finally seeing that cinnabar red and the cranes around the entire spectacle and just realizing, wow, this is a masterwork.
And then in the end, when on the screen, I kind of get a surprise because all this joint effect was into the whole screen, which is, it's great excitement for me to see that.
The client loved the work. It really touched a sensibility that they were looking for, and they were proud to use it to celebrate Chinese New Year. We didn't have the exact process defined, but what we did do was have the courage and the innovation to make it happen. We all stuck together as a team and achieved a larger-than-life piece of work that we can all be proud of.